Our 8-part journey, where paths begin, is slowly coming to a close, but there's still quite a bit to experience on this scenic Namibian trip. On this episode, Kahukuland spoils us with a meet and greet. The team swims with tadpoles in a natural pool, and Corneille finds true love. Join us as we kick up some sand and snap some pics somewhere close to nowhere in this episode of Tusk and Tyre Overlanding.
Kahukuland does it again. We're running through the Armspoor Valley, and in this time warp you can see it, endless ridges, changing light, and those heavy clouds that makes the color look deeper. Today we leave Puros and follow a river that looks empty, until it suddenly isn't. What we see out here is unreal. Then the valley changes in minutes, and the whole drive turns into dust and decisions. And then, the information of the bush goes through a bush telegram.
Hi, how are you? All good. Are you coming from Puros? Can you run through the canyon? Or it's overflowing? Yeah, Puros Canyon. Huh?
It's fine, we went through it yesterday.
You went through yesterday, okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Because last year it was completely overflowed and not possible, but now it's good. Okay.
Yeah, we went through it yesterday.
Ah, okay, good. And now you are going
To Twyfelfontein.
to Twyfelfontein.
Yes, yeah.
Not stay in the Hoanib.
Yeah, we're sleeping in one of tonight,
Ah, good.
and then hopefully we find the lions.
So not. We spent there 3 nights.
We didn't see anything.
Elephants and whatever, but not the lions. Not,
Oh, okay.
we were looking for it, and we asked the ranger there, and they said not seen
Okay.
yet. But yeah, why not?
Yeah, we're sleeping in the one of tonight, in Twyfelfontein, and then we'll decide where from there.
Ah, okay, good. Where do you?
For the 5th time, I've broken one of my axle bolts on the trailer. So the other side we prattling them. I don't know if they're breaking or they're just coming loose. But yeah, another bush fix.
Dan moet ons hom net bietjie skuif op hom hier.
Okay.
Ja, kyk hy's nog so halwe daar.
Wat eet
Julle moet
ons?
eet. Hallo.
Wat eet ons?
Ons eet ou brood en vars worsies en tamatie met kaas.
Ja, wanneer daar 'n bosfix is, word daar geëet.
Sien julle, kan julle asseblief ophou om die bak
Ek dink. Dis Aiden. Hy haal daai bout uit, dat ons kan stop, dat ons kan eet.
Rekord.
Ja. Nee, jy moet hier rekord knoppie druk.
Okay, dat moet ons doen.
Stefan?
Let's start the train. Let's roll. What? Start the train. Let's roll.
Ja. Start the train. Let's roll.
Yes, ek het hom reg gesê.
Mine doesn't want to roll.
After the crew's bush fix, they get back en route towards their next stop. But this place is not only dramatic, it's scientifically famous. Down here, the Hoanib has left behind what researchers call the Armspoor silts, thick fine deposits that in some places filled the valley more than 12 meters deep. It even buries old river trees now exposed as the river cuts back through them. It matters because it tells a story. At times in the past, the Hoanib did not always push through to the ocean, as dunes from the Skeleton Coast sand could block the way, ending the river inland. As the team joins this riverbed, it starts to feel alive. Most of the year it's just a wide sandy corridor, but when big rains fall inland, it can reach all the way to the Atlantic, and more importantly, feeding this area with land water that keeps the valley alive between floods. This, of course, calls wildlife from all over, offering water, shade and browse, and sometimes, if you're lucky, Kahukuland lets you see it.
As these elephants move through the river, it's worth remembering they're not separate species. They're African bush elephants that have adapted to one of the harshest corners of Namibia. In places like the Hoanib and Hoanib, the riverbeds are usually sand, but they act like linear oases, holding shade, food and water hidden in the system long after the last rain. With these epimeral rivers, desert-adapted elephants simply could not survive. To make it work, they move with purpose. Some groups are known to have traveled huge distances between the river systems, over 70 kilometers, often pushing at night when it's cooler, then feeding and drinking hard when they reach good trees and floodplains. You'll sometimes notice they look leaner, with bigger feet, suited for soft sand, small differences shaped by heat, distance and scarcity. And right now, in this quiet river corridor, you're seeing the desert's biggest lesson: resilience, moving calmly, steadily, and always forward. People call them desert giraffes, but what you're looking at is the Angolan giraffe, living in one of the toughest parts of Namibia. Out here, their world is an open savanna, its epimeral river corridors, the Hoanib and its neighbors. Because these dry rivers are where the food and the moisture stay when everything else fades. Researchers found their movement can be extreme. In the northern Namib desert, giraffes can have huge home ranges, and the biggest recorded bull range in one study was about 1,950 square kilometers, one of the largest ever documented for a giraffe. Their travel often becomes a long, purposeful line across the river system, because where survival is written in the landscape. And here's the wild part. Observers have reported giraffes feeding early to use dew and moisture on the leaves. And across years of study, some individuals were never even seen drinking, because they were getting enough water from what they browse. Today, conservation teams are even GPS tracking Hoanib giraffe to understand these movements better, because in a place like this, distance is everything. We just left the Puros Conservancy after we paid our fees. Still in the Hoanib River, met with this kind of driving, making for some interesting comments in the car. tog, want dan kan ek nie sien nie. Ek kan sien. Yes, ek sien agter. We finally made it out of the dust of the Hoanib River and made it to Twyfelfontein, but we couldn't find suitable accommodation. Then we had another 25 k's to go to Ongongo Falls, where we're gonna spend the next 2 nights. What an awesome time we had. Can't wait to share this with you. We arrived at Ongongo Falls and wow, this place is proper 4x4 overlander's paradise. Some of the campsites are only reachable in low range and the tracks in here are tight and narrow and technical. And then to make it interesting, the campsite manager accidentally sent me down the wrong turn, which means I had to turn this big rig around in a really small space. Not exactly stress free, but that's part of the adventure.
Maar die trailer gaan net bietjie regaat gaan.
Now we're heading out to our campsite, so stick with us as we make our way in. And once we get there, I still need to thread this truck into a camping spot. But honestly, with scenery like this, it's worth every bit of effort. I'll show you the camp properly a little bit later. Motsumi is parked, camp is set up, time to make a fire, steak chops on Vors and some fire potatoes is on the menu for tonight. Camping at its best. Samen paradjies. There's millions and millions of tadpoles in this natural pool. Everybody enjoying themselves, cooling off in the hot Namibian sun. Wat al versteen is, né? Lyk soos konkreet. Ja. One of the local community dogs decided to come visit us at camp. And I was playing with him here, starting to miss my 3 Great Danes at home. I'm a big animal lover, big passion for dogs, and I just love them to bits. Listening to the bird calls of the morning, enjoying the tranquil sound of water trickling over the rocks down into the stream here. Today, heading to Messam Crater. I'm gonna stop off at the Rhino Sanctuary to see what there is to do there, and then Messam Crater, and then we'll find a camp close to Messam Crater, and then tomorrow it is down to Swakop. We've been basically off grid for the last 10 days, so yeah, stock is running low, food supplies are running low. Going into Swakop to restock. We're gonna spend about 3 nights in Swakop because the kids wants to go quad biking on the dunes. Some wants to go try the cold ocean. We're going there to the Big Velvetias and the moon landscape. So there's a couple of things to do at Swakop. You can spend 10 days in Swakop without one day being bored. There's just so much to do. Stefan said we must go visit Brahaus again. See if we can get a booking and go eat at Brahaus in Swakop. From Swakop, plans have changed so that we're heading down to Tsaugap. From Tsaugap, most probably Namtip, and then from Namtip we'll try and reach Ludritz. An awesome, exciting day ahead today for us. Looking forward to seeing the Messam Crater. It's like you've got an obstacle course to get out of Campfire. Sy is die kortstokkie pilot.
Ja.
Safe journey.
Just stopped here by Palmwag. The first fuel up after 1,120 kilos after I've last filled up at Upua. So, and I've still got just over half a tank left, so the diesel I had was enough.
I even did something like Gangsta's Paradise. It's a song which is sung by, what is the guy?
Yeah, that guy's dead now.
He's dead now.
Yeah. En die hy gooi soos 'n lorry. This is my damage. 3.3 k's on a litre. 4x4 sand, low range, rock climbing, gravel road riding, the works. Just waiting for Stefan to fill up, as only one pump is working, and then we are on the road. Twyfelfontein next. Standing here at the burnt mountain close to Twyfelfontein in Damaraland, and apparently this was a volcanic outburst millions of years ago. As you can see, the burnt mountain, and it looks like a hill that's been scorched by fire. But what you're seeing is geology doing something far more intense than flame. This area started as Karoo Age sediments, shells with coal seams and sandstone layers laid down long ago in a lake environment. Then molten rock forced its way up. Doleritic magma intruded into those fine sediments and heated them to around 1000 degrees. That heat literally cooked the rock, driving off the organic material and leaving behind the blackened, clinker-like shells, made mostly of baked clay minerals. And the reason it can glow with those purples and deep reds, especially in late afternoon light, is the thin coating of manganese minerals, adding that darker sheen and color shift against the surrounding unaltered sediments. Here at the organ pipes near Twyfelfontein, the rock looks almost man-made, like a giant stone instrument frozen in place. In Afrikaans, it's called orgelpijpe, organ pipes, and once you see it, the name makes perfect sense. What you're looking at is Dolerite, a volcanic rock that forced its way into older sediments underground. As that hot magma cooled slowly at depth, it shrank and cracked. Those cracks formed perpendicular to the cooling surface, creating the long, straight columns, often with angular, near-hexagonal shapes, the same physics you see in famous basalt columns around the world. The timing is part of the bigger Namibia story. This Dolerite intrusion is tied to the intense volcanic activity linked to the breakup of Gondwana and the opening of the South Atlantic, roughly about 120 million years ago. Yes, you heard that right. What happened here caused the Atlantic Ocean to form. And the reason we can stand next to it today is erosion doing its patient work, removing the softer surrounding rock until the harder Dolerite skeleton was left exposed in the little gorge. So when you form these pillars, you're not just capturing a cool landmark, you're filming a moment where you can literally see how heat, pressure, cooling and time can turn molten rock into geometry. And that's why places like this are protected. One wrong step, one chipped edge, and you don't just damage stone, you damage a piece of deep time.
En route from Twyfelfontein to the Messam crater, a stone slashed the side wall of Gournay's Tyre, forcing the team to change course to White Lady Lodge and leave their original destination for another journey, as the route there is unfortunately one you don't take without preparation. As with these trips, that was not the only big change waiting, as we'll learn on the next part of our Tusk and Tyre overlanding trip through Namibia. See you there.